If you're not ready to have respect for yourself, if you're not ready to be disciplined, if you're not ready to do the work, you're not ready to you're not ready to get to that next level. That's just simple. That's just that. And this video is not for you. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my channel if this is your first time seeing my face. My name's Aisha and this is Tea Time with Aisha. I'm going to be doing our closeout episode and I'm really excited but a little bit nervous to close out this season with you guys. I want to start off by saying thank you so much for watching, interacting, tuning in everywhere, and just being a part of this journey with me. When I started doing tea time, it was for me, because for me, I am in this evolving era. And if you watched the first episode of Tea Time, I spoke to that a little bit, killing off old version of yourself to allow the chance to grow. And that statement still is true today, right? In order for you to grow, you have to kill off the version of yourself that you're attached to that's not in alignment with who it is that you want to become. So through 11 episodes, 12 episodes, 12 episodes, I got the opportunity to speak with people that inspire me in so many different areas. I learned with them, I learned from them, and I shared those conversations with you guys. In this episode, I want to give you guys a little bit of a recap and take some of my favorite themes that I took away from those conversations and share them with you. Do a quick little deep dive. Before we get into today's episode, it wouldn't be tea time if we didn't do our little tea clink clink. I don't have anybody to clink with though. So I'm cheersing with you guys. Get your cups, clink clink, and let's get into the episode. Don't forget to do your sip, okay? We have to do our sip. It's different to not have anybody doing this with me right now, but I'm excited. I'm doing it with you guys. We're having a conversation. It's Q4. That's where we're at right now. We're in Q4 or we're entering Q4, and this is a time where you can reflect on everything that you've done this year, how far you've come, the things that you've checked off, and it's not over yet. We're not at the finish line yet, and you still have the opportunity to do things to elevate your life and set yourself up for success. So without further ado, we're going to get into the first theme. So the first theme that I'm going to be discussing is setting standards for yourself. This is something that Yelissa, Shun, and Denrise all highlighted in their episodes. And it really spoke to me because I feel like I always have so many grand ideas, like everything that I want to do. And, sometimes you surround yourself with people, or you are surrounded by people that think, oh, your dream is too big, or da, da, da. It doesn't matter. Don't share your ideas or your thoughts with everyone. It's not everybody that you tell these things to that is on the same page as you and is in alignment with this higher self that you view for yourself. Write these standards that you have down in a notebook, talk about it with God, set him in your plans, and just go for it, okay? So setting standards for yourself is super important, and it's something that I find myself doing more, especially with tea time and just seeing how it's growing and everything that I want to do career-wise and just with my life. So set standards for yourself. That's number one. Number two is to be delusional. And I think that this is a theme that almost everyone spoke to within their episodes, but I'm going to give it to Manny on this one. Manny and Yelissa, they're delus, and I love it. I really appreciated just hearing a creative, an artist talk about how being delusional has gotten him into so many places, gotten him through so many doors. And for me, when I sat back and watched that episode back, I was like, bro, it really is just that, being so, what's the word, disconnected from this sense of reality and detaching yourself from the idea that things are not possible. Because literally, why not? Why not? Actually, why not? You know what I mean? I saw something on the internet the other day and it was only non-believers have doubt, right? And I was like, that's such a vague term, a vague sentence. What do you mean by that? But when I sat there and I reflected on that a little bit more, I was like, that's so real. Why would I put limits on what God can do for me? I'm not trying to get super religious on you guys, right? But you know how I get. You know how I get. The real deal of it is, why would I sit here and say I believe in a higher being, a higher force, and say, oh, this thing that I want is not possible when God is literally, or this higher being is literally limitless. And some people believe in the universe, whatever the case is, right? If you believe in this thing that's greater than self, why would you attach limits to what it is that you can attain when you're being free and open with that? So when I started to think that way, I was like, bro, that literally, like that idea is literally connected to being delusional. Because when you're delusional, you're not realistic, right? You throw that whole idea of being realistic out the window and you're just like, whatever it is that I want, I can attain it because, like, literally, why not live without bounds? So that's something that I feel is super essential to achieving and attaining that higher self that you're looking for. And that's something that I feel like I've extremely like internalized through the conversations that I've had through this season, and I'm definitely implementing it moving forward because I don't know about y'all, but in 2024, I want to know that this like glow up era that I'm like working so hard on, I'm actually seeing that those workings in real time in the next year, in the years to come. So do that work now. Shift your mindset. Everything is perspective. Shift your mindset, and inshallah, you will see those changes. Let's see what's the next one. Don't be afraid to be different. Those are themes that I saw in Manny's episode. I saw it in Amina's episode. I saw it in Angel's episode. I saw it in Derice's episode. Don't be afraid to be different. Like, people that are literally like exemplary, they're different, right? Like, they don't stay within the status quo. They do things their own way. They dance to the beat of their own drum. That is what, like, that's what sets you apart. You know what I mean? Being yourself. Even with YouTube or TikTok, right? Like, you guys see people that are producing the same kind of content, whether it's lifestyle content, whether it's soft girl era content, whether it's clean girl aesthetic content. And you're like, oh, you could be trying to tell someone about one specific person, but they've named 5 different people that are doing the same thing and they still haven't landed at the person that you're talking about. That's because you're all doing the same thing. There's no individuality. Bring individuality back into everything that you do. Bring it back into everything that you do. Be yourself. Do what makes you happy. And you'll see, like, when you're living for yourself and you're doing things the way you want to, you'll see the way people respond to you, and they respond to that. Like, honestly speaking, that's what they're looking for. That's that thing that they'd like to connect to. So don't be afraid to be different. Really be yourself. Experiment. Try new things out. I remember in Manny's episode, he was talking about, like, through his journey as an artist, which, he's still going through, obviously. He played around with different sounds, different aesthetics with his like voice and ranges with his voice. And like he finally found something that felt like him. But even in that, he's still trying things out because we are not one note, right? We're like, and growth is not linear either. And I say this all the time. I've mentioned this in multiple episodes. It's not linear. But the more you bask in, who you are, and I mean your true self. I don't mean this idea of yourself that other people have conjured up for you. I mean like your true self, and you play around with what makes you happy and what makes you comfortable and what makes you excited. You start to learn things and you start to feel liberated, right? And you unlock a key, like it's keys, man. Keys. You unlock a door that you never ever thought even existed. And that takes you to a whole new height and new opportunities. So don't be afraid to be yourself and bring individuality back. All right. That's what we're doing here. Try to bring individuality back. Like, I feel like even with like my vlogs and the content I create, I'm still struggling to really open up, like specifically with vlogs. I'm struggling to open up and really show you guys Aisha, because it's like we're so used to seeing carefully curated content and putting that out because that's what we see, but nobody cares about that. They want to see the real you. They want something that they can like relate to. They want something that's like raw. They want something that feels real, and you can only get that when you're being yourself and you're standing out. So that's something that I want you guys to take away, because I took it away and I'm implementing it, and inshallah, like I said, in the next season, we will see that, okay? Let's see, what's the next thing? In order to grow, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And this is something that I feel like I took away from Yulissa and Denrice's episode, because they both moved to New York, and obviously we have similar backgrounds. All grew up like, in Maryland, and we come from like African households, very close to our family, very like we're used to just having that support system here, right? So for them to take that leap of faith and move out of our comfort zone and be in New York, which to me is kind of scary, I'm like, you know what? Why not? Like, what's holding me back? And I feel like the moment you give yourself that challenge, that's when you see like exponential growth. Like, guys, literally, sink or swim. I know you've heard this before. Sink or swim. Sink or swim. Like, when you literally force yourself to be in a position to, either sink or swim, and that means like being in a new environment, working a new job, trying out a new skill, whatever the case is, you can either fail, or that innate like flight or fight instinct that you have can go into overdrive, and you just skyrocket into a whole nother area and phase of your life, and you're like, damn, like who would have thought I'd be here if I just didn't try that out, right? So get comfortable being uncomfortable. Like that right there, I feel like if anything is the recipe or part of the formula to attaining your higher self, that is definitely key. Because if you're not comfortable with the idea of being uncomfortable, you are not ready for true growth. Let that sink in. You're not ready for true growth, because you're never going to unlock a new door, get into a new level by doing the same thing over and over again. Complacency and being complacent will keep you in the same position that you've already been in, and So get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's another theme that I took away from the season. And, you know, we're here. We're being consistent. I ain't never been so consistent in my life before. I literally went to see my friend Shinny, which was one of the episodes today. And, we were just chatting, doing like a little bit of reflection and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, I've never been like consistent with anything in my life until like tea time. And he was like, yeah, that's true. I was like, damn, that shade was loud. Like, you didn't have to agree so loudly, but it's because it's true. It's real. And that leads me to my next point, like being brutally honest with yourself, but still being able to give yourself grace. So like with me, I'm extremely self-aware, and I know that I'm not consistent, which is why you might have heard me mention this in one of my in my life update video. I'd mentioned that, oh, I know me, like if I'm not getting that instant gratification, I'm gonna just stop, right? And that's why we pre-recorded a whole bunch of episodes. But I was like, we're not doing that this time around. We're gonna go ahead and keep on putting out episodes, even if that means like not that many people are watching it, because whoever is watching is gaining, some sort of substance and value from it. And that's what you're doing it for. You're not doing it for the numbers. You're doing it to impart some sort of knowledge, or, make somebody feel heard and build a community. So I was like, we're just going to keep going. And that made me uncomfortable, if I'm being honest with you guys, because it's not every week that I'm seeing like numbers that are like, oh my God, like we really ate that up. And it made me uncomfortable because I'm like, oh, are people liking it? But I was like, no, like you got to just keep going. You have to be okay with the journey. You have to be okay with some episodes being a flop. And actually, none of the episodes are a flop in my opinion, but some episodes not doing as well number wise, because whoever watched it and took value away from it, it did something for them. And that was really telling in all the messages that we received from all the episodes that we've done. People telling me, oh, thank you so much for doing this. This really means a lot to me. Like, I took a lot from this episode. This guest was really good for X, Y, and Z reason. Like that, like anytime I would get a message like that, it would literally light me up. Like I would feel so happy, and it would reignite that flame under my butt to say like, yeah, keep going. Like this is why you do it. You know what I mean? So I'm actually like I'm living through this saying, like, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And it's reflective in other aspects of my life that, in the chit chat get ready with me you guys will hear about. But yeah, like I'm really like that one right there. I don't know. I really hold that near and dear to my heart. The next one is being consistent. I mentioned that already, but it's super important. Anything that it is that you decide to do, just stay consistent. When you're consistent and you keep going, it's like going to the gym. Let's like put it in like basic terms, like going to the gym, right? You keep going, keep going, you keep going, keep going, you see results. You keep going, keep going, you see results. And you're like, oh, I want to keep going because I'm seeing more and more results. Like that's like an incentive. But the moment you stop and you fall off, it's like it kind of goes away. And it's like, damn, like if only I kept going, I could have unlocked a whole nother level or hit another PR, but you didn't. You just stopped for one reason or the other. So you have to stay consistent. And that kind of ties into my next point, which is literally having respect for yourself. I don't remember who exactly had mentioned it like verbatim in their episode, but I know it was a theme across all of my episodes, honestly. It's in alignment with setting standards for yourself, but respect yourself. You see how we get up every single day to go to work, to collect money, right? But like really, I'm getting up on time to get to work on time. Not because of just the money, but because I don't want my boss to be upset with me. Like that's why. I'm holding myself accountable so that I don't get in trouble, so that, there's not an issue. You need to have that same respect for yourself. So if you tell yourself you're gonna do X, Y, and Z, do X, Y, and Z. I told myself we're gonna have a straight season. We're gonna upload on Thursdays. We're not gonna miss a Thursday no matter what. Even if that means we're gonna shoot Wednesday night and get that video up on Thursday, that's what we're gonna do. Like, that's what we're gonna do. That's because I have respect for myself. I have respect for my team, and I have respect for this platform that we're building, and I have respect for you guys, right? So like literally having respect for yourself, when I tell you it goes a long way in all aspects of your life, I mean it. Like you actually owe yourself that respect and that discipline to unlock this higher self. If you're not ready to have respect for yourself, if you're not ready to be disciplined, if you're not ready to do the work, you're not ready to you're not ready to get to that next level. That's just simple. That's just that. And this video is not for you. Sorry. Because people that want to get to that level, they know these things already. And everything I'm telling you, you already know it. But I'm just here to reaffirm it and remind you that like nobody's perfect and we're literally all on the same journey together. But like, sis, I'm holding you accountable. I'm holding you accountable, hold me accountable. We're here together and we're doing it. So I think I have like two more themes that I want to share with you guys. Let me see. Take accountability. That's the next one. Take accountability. I mentioned this in my episode with my aunt. And it was like, I don't like a woe is me person, which is someone who nothing's ever their fault. Everything is always circumstantial. Everything is always someone else's fault. And they never, ever, ever take accountability for what goes wrong in their life or when they have a falling out with someone or whatever the case is. They literally can't take accountability. Don't be that person. Take accountability. Because when you're able to take accountability and be honest with yourself, see, we're tying it back. Be honest with yourself, you're able to have like a higher self of like self-actualization and really sit there and be like, okay, I'm self-aware. I know what I'm doing wrong. Like, I know what I'm doing wrong. And only when you know that and you're aware of that are you able to fix it, right? But if you're sitting here, you don't see it, and you're like just, you know what I mean? You're doing yourself a disservice. It's like when a parent has a kid and they excuse all their bad habits and they're confused as to why this child is an irresponsible part of society. You know what I mean? It's bad for everyone in the end. So take accountability, babes. Maybe it was your fault. Maybe you do need to go do the inner workings. Maybe you do need to go journal. Maybe you do need to get therapy. And none of those things are wrong. None of those things, I can't talk. None of those things are bad. You just have to be self-aware enough to fix it so that you can be better. That's it. That's it. I know it sounds like light work. It can be hard. But realistically speaking, babes, it's light work, okay? I'm making it sound simple because it is simple. Because this is your life and you literally need to be in the driver's seat of it and not just coast by so that you can get to that next step and you can get to that next level, okay? So again, pep talk from me to you because I want to see you do well. I want to see you win. I want us, all the OTD babes, I want us all to literally be like in our glow era. Like literally you see me and I'm just illuminating this aura of just like, I'm doing everything I need to do. I'm so happy in my life. I'm fulfilled. Like, yeah. that's what I want for you guys. That's what I want for me, so that's what I want for you guys. My last one, you guys, I know for me, oh, I know I'm a Muslim babe. I always tie everything back to God and I can't help it. But whatever higher source that it is that speaks to you or is involved in your life, involve that in each step of this journey. It feels good to feel like you have something more spiritual attached to your journey, at least for me. And I can only speak from my personal experience, honestly speaking, which I'll probably get into a little bit deeper in my chit chat, get ready with me. But guys, when I tell you that this journey has been the most beautiful thing ever, because I've literally experienced all the highs and the lows. Like I've been in a point where I felt so lost in what I was doing in the space that I was in. I was like, okay, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. I'm putting in all the work and I'm not seeing the results that I want to see. Like, is God listening to me? Like, can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? And I literally had to like swallow that and just pray that away and just keep going. Like, I had to hold on strong to my faith at so many different points. And alhamdulillah, like I'm so happy that I did that because I can say like I'm actually living through answered prayers right now and it's a very beautiful and like surreal experience. I don't want to get emotional about it, but like honestly it's surreal. That's the best way I can put it because sometimes when you have had so many trials and tribulations and you've just been having like a really hard year, but you're like keeping a smile on your face and you just keep going. Cause like I think I mentioned this to you guys in an episode before. Like I'm very solution oriented. So even if things aren't going well, I have to keep going. Like, okay, what's next? And I don't sit there and like bask in that emotion that I'm feeling until I've resolved the issue. And I feel like, through this self healing journey and journey to higher self, I've been through and experienced a lot, but I just keep going. And I keep going because I have my faith to hold on to, and I'm so happy that I held on to my faith because literally when I tell y'all I'm living through answered prayers and I'm just so happy right now and I'm so grateful and it makes me super excited just keep going on this journey. And that's why it's just so important for me to share this with you guys because it's really beautiful when you come out on the other end of it. I love you guys so much, and I feel like I'm experiencing, I'm experiencing love within my life, whether that's within my familiar relationships or my relationship with God or my personal relationship with myself. And just being able to share that with you guys and go on this journey with you guys and bring you guys along, it feels really, really special to me. Like, tea time is so special to me. OTDs are so special to me because in moments where I feel alone, I feel like, okay, I have you guys. Like, I actually do have you guys. I have so many of you guys that will message me on Instagram or literally on Snapchat or TikTok, and even on our comment section and tell me how much my videos mean to you. It's part of my answered prayers. And I'm just so grateful for that. So having faith or just something that's a higher source that you hold on to during your hard times means a lot because when you do live through those answered prayers, you'll feel really good. So that's been Tea Time with Aisha, and this is our closeout episode. I thank you guys so much. This means everything to me. I can't wait to, go even harder in season 2. Like everything that I'm doing, yes, it's for me, but it's also for you guys because I know that it's healing me and I know that it's doing a lot for me. So I can only imagine what it's doing for someone else that doesn't have anybody to talk to. I have my support system, and shout out to them because they're everything to me. And so I can only imagine somebody who's lacking that, what this is probably doing for them. So I'm your big sister. And that's what Tea Time started off as. Big sister advice from me to you. And that's what it will always be. Big sister advice from me to you. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure you go back and watch the other episodes if you haven't. And I'll see you guys in season 2. Bye.